You've heard of tennis and squash, right? But what if you were to combine them both? You get paddle. This is the hottest new trend in sports that's got celebrities, including David Beckham, Serena Williams, and World Series champ Derek Jeter hopping on board. Today, Reserve Padel kicks off its 3-day tournament in Miami for what's called the Reserve Cup. This is getting to be a big deal. Jeter and 6-time NBA All-Star Jimmy Butler have been selected as the official tournament captains. But late-breaking news, Butler's going to have to watch from home after sustaining a torn ACL during Monday night's NBA game between the Golden State Warriors and the Miami Heat. But let's get back to the money, because we're a business network. Prize for this week's tournament, $600,000. And the whole Reserve Cup will drive more than $2 million in sponsorship and partnership revenue. Let's hear more about this from Reserve Padel founder and CEO Wayne Boich and 5-time World Series champ and Fox Sports MLB analyst Derek Jeter. Good to have you both. Wayne, you founded Reserve Padel, luxury members-focused paddle club. Derek, I do want to start with you because everybody was saying this, like, you played baseball your whole life and now paddle. At what point did you say, I need a new sport with walls?
Well, let me just hold on, Liz. Let me just clarify one thing before we begin.
Okay.
I am not attempting to play paddle. I am very I'm physically limited at this point in my life. So how my involvement came about with the relationship I've had with Wayne over the years, and he first told me about his interest in paddle probably about 4 years ago. And, you know, you could tell instantly that this was something he really cared about. He cared about the sport. He wanted the sport to grow. And he asked me if I'd be willing to help out. And like I've said before, I don't know how much I really can help, but because it's very, very important to him and it's a sport that I do enjoy watching, that's where my involvement is. But I do not play.
Okay, so you're just a spectator. You're limping out there as the team captain.
He did prove he could still hit the ball very far. At one of our events, we did a shot for charity in which he hit the ball into the water, and everybody was very impressed. But that was more like a baseball shot.
So you can still thrill the crowds, Derek. Wayne, let's talk about this. We have some viewers who have either not played it or ever heard of it. In a nutshell, describe paddle.
It's really a mix of a lot of different racket sports. As you said, it's surrounded by glass, 12 feet of glass, and a little bit of wire mesh at certain parts of the court. And the beauty of the game is it's played doubles. It's very, very active. There's certainly a community feel to it. You can play the ball in the air before it bounces. You can play it when it bounces before it hits the glass, or you could let it bounce, hit the glass, and then take it before it bounces a second time. It leads to a lot of, nuance. It's not just hitting the ball hard. There's certainly a lot of athleticism to the game. But what I noticed when I started to play the game for fun and coming from a tennis background is that, men, women, 5-year-olds to 75-year-olds, they get very intoxicated by it very quickly. I think it's a combination of feeling like you're hitting something off the glass, which is unique, and getting a second chance at hitting the ball. Tennis doesn't have that. Obviously, pickle, it's a very different game in that regard. And when you watch the game at the highest level, you really get an appreciation for the athleticism of these pros. So I like the game. I played about 10 years, and then I decided to start up a company that really, I wanted it to be a kind of a lifestyle brand that started off the backs of paddle and all that it had to entail. And in 3 short years, we've done a lot. We're excited about it.
And Derek, do you get other people excited to be spectators in this? I mean, this is your 2nd year as being captain.
This is my 3rd year.
Third.
So I've been there since we started. But yes, the thing that I didn't, like I told you, I didn't know much about paddle when I first got involved and first heard about it from Wayne. But I think the great thing is anytime you have an emerging sport, you need to have events. And what Wayne has done a great job is he's made this an event. And there's no better place to do it than in Miami. It's an international city, obviously, and there's a lot of paddle fans here. But this is an event, and people come out to watch the paddle, obviously, but there's more things going on around the game, the matches. And I think that's what makes for a successful sport, especially when you're starting to build it, is people want to come, especially in Miami, people want to come to an event.
I mean, if paddle, Derek, had existed during your playing days, would the Yankees have lost you in spring training? Is it that much fun?
I probably would have hurt myself. So yeah, they probably would have lost me in spring training. I don't know if I would have made it through the season.
Wayne, you're playing against glass walls. I assume they're shatterproof. Tell me about the expertise and, more importantly, how listen, you are a high finance guy. You've been investing for your family office for quite some time in big, big sectors. But how have you been able to land names like UBS and Hard Rock Bet to become your sponsors, or at least get involved in this?
I think it's a combination, Liz, of what the sport has done, which we obviously can't take credit for in large regard, and what we've done as a brand. And I think Derek hit on it a bit. Whatever we do, we want to be best in class. We certainly have, a high-end luxury feel to our clubs and everything that we do. And when we brought on Reserve Cup, we made it very much, particularly that we were building in the U.S. at first, made it very much about the event that also showcased great paddle, because, as you very well know, a lot of people had never heard of it. When I started building the first clubs, most people thought it was pickle. You had to explain to them what it was. So I think building out Reserve, a lot of it was thinking, down the line 5-10 years when we were starting it up, how do we put ourselves in a position to build a community of members that want to be part of our clubs, part of our events, and things that we will create. And one of the things that we've created that have really become a core piece of Reserve is our Pro-Am series. Because when people get into this game, and as I said, they get very intoxicated by it, they all think that whether they're very athletic or not, very athletic very quickly. And so we started doing these Pro-Am events, and these Pro-Am events are very, very well attended. They're a lot of fun. Our communities love it. And it's certainly just another vehicle of what we're doing to get where we need to go.
So you brought up pickleball. I play tennis. I really love pickleball. I've been playing for a couple of years now. Derek, what would you say to somebody like me to drag me away from pickleball now and try paddle?
You know what? I was just about to say, the next time we come on, actually, you'll have to be playing.
Okay.
You might have to be in the Pro-Am, Wayne, in New York.
Here's me with my kids playing pickleball, by the way.
Yeah, we got to get you out there to start playing. But I think
we got to get you. We have to get you a lesson. We have to get you a lesson, Liz. Okay. And I like pickleball. I like all racket sports. As I said, I was a tennis player in my youth, and it was a big part of my life and kind of built part of my foundation. So I love all the racket sports. But I think when you play paddle, it has everything those sports have to offer and more, by way of, again, what the court is, how the game is played, and obviously the glass.
Well, unlike Derek, I have elite reflexes. Elite.
Elite.
Hey, you know what, though?
Well, then I'm flying up to New York. We'll be at Hudson Yards soon.
No. This is well documented now, Liz. So we're going to see your elite reflexes when we're up in New York. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I'll do that, and then we'll have a diving on the turf competition, and we'll see who wins that. Finally, Wayne, 5 years from now, how do you grow this? There are already pickleball tournaments that are being televised. There's some money there to be had. What is your big plan?
Well, we'll continue to grow out clubs in a very methodical, thoughtful way in tier 1 cities, or cities that we think are most accretive to the brand. We are becoming quickly, effectively, with a lot of developers, a sales center in a way for developers that are just opening new developments. We're talking about, we're doing deals in Puerto Rico, Cabo, other places in the Caribbean, Europe. We're talking about 3-4 deals. And, with the community we bring, it's a natural, as an amenity, to help, bring the right type of folks to sell out these developments. And as Reserve, we're in discussions now to build out on one of my pieces of real estate, our first Reserve Tower, which will include, retail component, paddle club, wellness, and then boutique, high-end condos above. We're very excited about that. We think that'll be part of the way we move into a kind of real estate-centric playbook with Reserve.
As we finish up, Derek, you got this guy next to you, Wayne Boich, who is a very smart investor. Do you need his advice, or have you done pretty well in the stock market with your previous earnings?
I've done all right. I'm trying to negotiate a piece of this Reserve Paddle. I think I just sent him a text a little while ago. So that's what I'm working on now.
Don't ice him out, Wayne. Let him in on this one.
He drives a hard bargain. If he would have hit that paddle shot at me and not the water, it wouldn't have been good.
Hey, you know, you could listen. He couldn't hit Mariano Rivera, but let's see. Great to have all of you guys.